Alright, so you guys asked me to watch a movie named Veronica on Netflix, and when I went on there was freaking two movies named Veronica. I don't even know which one you guys wanted me to review since they were both new, they're both in Spanish, and they're both thrillers. But of course, since, I'm a man of the people, I'm gonna break both down for you. So I'm gonna start with the first one about a psychologist, and then the Ouija horror one, which I think most of you guys wanted, right here at this point. So let me explain. See, when it comes to psychology, not everything is gonna be black and white, but this movie is. Pretty much it's about a retired therapist who takes on another case because they gave her the bag about this girl who was abused and a girl whose last therapist went missing. So this therapist decides to invite her to her freaking secluded mountain home. It turns out that this girl has nightmares that cause her to wake up and chronically masturbate a lot. Pretty much teenage boys just call those wet dreams. But eventually things start getting so trippy and seductive. The camera turns into these POV shots and we get these lesbo scenes shot like an X-art video, and the patient becomes the master. Pretty much the therapist ends up going crazy and she kicks out the patient, and we get one of the biggest exposition scenes of 2018. So it turns out that the therapist is actually named Veronica, hence the title of the movie. She was abused as a child and she ends up creating the patient out of an anagram of her own name. But then it turns out now, this really is Veronica, and she created her own psychologist after being abused and eventually killing her own mama. Why you guys gotta make this overly complicated and dizzy? So yeah, really what happens is that you got this 25-year-old chick right here who goes all identity and creates an alter ego of a psychologist based off of a random teacher she once had. The reason she's doing all this is because she was abused by her mom when she was younger, and then one day she decides to just straight up kill her mom in the shed, and that's the day that she places the call in the beginning of the movie to herself to then diagnose herself and then do it with herself. So nothing really gets fixed for her, but hey, there was a twist. I give it a stream it. Now what I do want to give a junior price to is this crazy movie also called Veronica. I think this is the one that you guys were recommending to me because a lot of people were super hyped up on this movie, but none of you told me it was demonic. I was sitting there at 4 a.m. in the morning thinking I'm about to watch a rom-com about a girl named Veronica, then all of a sudden this happens. Now, I did my research on this thing, and it actually used to be called El Expediente, which means case file, since it was based off of two real-life stories over in Spain. One is known as the Vallecas Case, which in 1991, there was this girl in Spain named Estefania Gutierrez Lazaro, I believe related to this guy, who decided to play with a Ouija board. Which you never do. Her parents started seeing shadows, things moving, and this girl ends up in a psychiatric ward where she dies mysteriously. The crazy thing is that the official police report for this thing is cited and stamped as including paranormal activity. So yeah, people freak out over it. Now, Veronica, the movie, is based off of that case, and the director has said himself that, he's taking liberties, that's why it's called Veronica, it's completely different, the police thing that you hear in the beginning isn't real, it's his own story. And for fans, it's also the most overhyped story because they keep ruining it for others. Is it the scariest? Yeah, maybe if your name is Veronica. This chick does the same thing that we read in the case file. She uses a Ouija board on the day of a solstice, because I guess that's when you get the best Wi-Fi with the spirits. And while she's trying to contact her dead father, she becomes a possessed daughter. She's at a Catholic school, so one of the nuns who gouged her eyes out to not see demons, didn't work, tells her that she has a demon in her. Yeah, no duh, lady. Veronica then has to protect her siblings from all the crazy things going on in the house. But get this, the big twist that we have here is that she ends up being the one who's tormenting them the whole time. I don't know if you guys remember the movie Hide and Seek, and I guess I kind of slightly spoiled it, but I mean, it was a very obscure movie. Y'all should go watch that. That's kind of what's going on here. It's actually her who's the possessed one and the one who's haunting her own siblings, while at the same time having them call out for her. Jacked up stuff. Anyways, after having her cavities checked, disrespecting Chef Boyardee in this scene, finding something worse than bedbugs, she decides that the best thing to do to get rid of this demon that was caused by a seance is to hold another seance. This time with her siblings. Girl, you don't touch the stove after it burned you once. The police come in and try to save the day. Veronica gets pretzeled and dies. The kids get saved, and you realize that in order for all of this to have been fixed with no problems whatsoever, they should have gotten Ed and Lorraine Warren. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I'm curious to know your thoughts. This was one that you guys had recommended, so if there's whatever you thought the scariest scene was in, let me know down below, because I thought other than them opening their mouths and stuff, it it was spooky. The cinematography was good as well. Like I said, I give it a junior price. I'm curious to know any other thoughts that you guys have down below in the comment section. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I will not send you a Ouija board. I will not.